David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Breaking tonight, the severe weather threats impacting millions. Dangerous storms, flash flooding, and blistering heat hammering the south and central U.S. on a busy holiday travel weekend. This after days of life-threatening floods, dramatic water rescues, and tornadoes in the Midwest. Plus brush fires in South Florida consuming thousands of acres, forcing road closures and triggering air quality concerns. Our weather team tracking it all. Iran says it's closing the critical Strait of Hormuz again, claiming violations in the ceasefire as Israel batters South Lebanon with a barrage of deadly strikes. But CENTCOM says the strait is still open for business with ships moving through. Officials from Iran and the U.S. in Switzerland. Vice President J.D. Vance on the way, working to get the next round of peace talks back on track. The fatal shooting of a pet dog sparking nationwide outrage. The LAPD releasing the disturbing video. Officers responding to a 911 call requesting a wellness check after a neighbor was heard screaming. A Tesla, allegedly on autopilot, crashes into a home near Houston, killing a 76-year-old woman. Also tonight, for the first time, we're getting a look at the chilling video and other evidence in the trial of a Texas teen convicted in the fatal stabbing of a fellow high school athlete. In New York City, horse carriage rides, a fixture in Central Park for decades, temporarily suspended following the death of an 18-year-old tourist. Chaos at a New York amusement park as a ride gets stuck, trapping more than a dozen children. The dramatic rescue. And America strong this Father's Day weekend. The young dad and former Navy SEAL turning his pain into purpose, now training to compete in the Paralympics.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Whit Johnson. We begin tonight with the violent weather taking aim at the south and central U.S. More than 25 million Americans under flood alerts. Heavy rain pounding Biloxi, Mississippi. The governor declaring a state of emergency. The waterlogged south now facing yet another flash flood threat after a week of deadly and catastrophic flooding and dramatic rescues. And in the heartland, hail piling up in a yard near Minneapolis as millions are recovering from devastating tornadoes in the Midwest. And wildfires smothering South Florida, scorching more than 20,000 acres. Meteorologist Leslie Lopez standing by with the forecast. But first, ABC's Morgan Norwood leads us off tonight.
Tonight, the dangerous flash flood threat throughout the South as the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur continue to unleash heavy rain. Overnight, thunderstorms pounding parts of an already soaked Mississippi, swamping roads and flooding neighborhoods, raising the threat for even more high water. Today, Mississippi's governor warning the state is far from in the clear.
There's actually an elevated flooding risk in virtually every county in our state.
In San Antonio, Texas, first responders carrying out multiple water rescues, waterways there overflowing. And in Louisiana's Red River Parish, this river spilling out of its bank.
Please, if you can, do not come through.
Flood concerns continuing throughout the day in parts of the South. And in Florida, a different threat. Emergency crews there grappling with massive wildfires threatening this highway. That fire now 97% contained. And that turnpike has now reopened all lanes.
And with the official start of summer is tomorrow, which of course means hotter, drier conditions and the potential for even more fires. Whit.
All right, Morgan Norwood for us. Let's get right to ABC's meteorologist Leslie Lopez. And Leslie, another night of flash flood threats.
Yeah, we might see scenes just like that. Let me show you what's happening. We do have flood risks that are elevated, especially into areas of Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, all the way out towards Georgia. This is going to continue through today, so we could still see, again, opportunities for water rescues. We also have flood risks over into areas of Nebraska, moving into Kansas. That's a significant risk, heavy amounts of rainfall, about 2 to 3 inches per hour. And then we're also still talking about severe weather. Anywhere everywhere from areas closer towards, it looks like Lincoln, Nebraska, moving you down into Kansas as well. And we get to see that threat go down from a 2 to 5 by the time we're heading into tomorrow. But this is extending now into Missouri, out towards areas of Illinois and Indiana. So we still wait with the severe weather throughout this weekend.
Okay.
Watch and wait and see.
Yes, a variety of different challenges. Thank you, Leslie. We move overseas now to tensions and confusion over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says the critical waterway is closed, but the U.S. military says it's open for business. This as U.S. and Iranian negotiators are in Switzerland for the next round of peace talks. And what President Trump is now threatening to do if a deal isn't reached in 60 days. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent, Selina Wang.
Tonight, the freshly signed U.S.-Iran deal already fraying. Reopening the Strait of Hormuz is central to the agreement, but today Iran's declaring it's once again closing that critical waterway, citing Israel's deadly strikes on Lebanon and the blatant breach in violation by the United States of the first clause of the ceasefire agreement, which calls for the fighting to end on all fronts. But the U.S. military denying Iran's claim that Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, saying traffic continues to flow and U.S. forces are monitoring the situation to ensure this remains the case.
The straits are now open. The Iranian military is now destroyed.
And tonight, President Trump declaring he won't tolerate tolls on ships that transit through the strait unless they're imposed by the U.S. if talks fail. But that's not in the signed U.S.-Iran deal, which says Iran will allow ships to pass the strait with no charge for 60 days only. Central Command says 55 commercial ships traveled through the strait on Saturday, the most in a single day since early in the war, but still below the 100 to 120 daily pre-war average. And tonight, it's unclear if traffic has changed after Iran's announcement. Tonight, Vice President J.D. Vance on his way to Switzerland, joining President Trump's envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for the next round of talks.
I think we're hopefully making progress on the nuclear issue, making progress on the Lebanon ceasefire issue.
The deal gives both sides 60 days to reach a final agreement. I spoke to ABC News contributor Mick Mulroy.
The Iranians clearly think that they have the upper hand. They're getting most of the benefits that we never thought that we would concede to by any administration before we even get into the nuclear discussions.
And even before Iran makes any new nuclear commitments, or even before the tough talks begin, Iran is already getting the economic benefits. For the first time in decades, Iran can now freely sell its oil on the global market, Whit.
Okay, Selina Wang, our thanks to you tonight. Now to Israel hitting southern Lebanon with a barrage of deadly strikes. Let's get right to ABC's Britt Clennett in Jerusalem. Britt, what are you seeing tonight?
What we are seeing in southern Lebanon is a ceasefire in name only between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah. It was announced on Friday, but within just hours, Israel was pounding southern Lebanon yet again. Authorities saying at least 16 people killed, more than a dozen wounded. Israel saying it targeted Hezbollah positions in response to incoming fire. Hezbollah accusing Israel of striking first. Both sides showing a lack of restraint, the fighting threatening to upend those peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. Iran's foreign ministry saying the U.S. is not fulfilling its commitment to the memorandum to compel Israel to stop its attacks on Lebanon. All eyes now on President Trump to see what pressure can be applied to Israel and the focus on Lebanon as a pressure valve where this whole deal could unravel.
Britt, thank you for that. And be sure to tune into This Week tomorrow morning. Jonathan Karl interviews Energy Secretary Chris Wright and former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice about the latest on Iran. Next tonight, disturbing video of a Los Angeles police officer fatally shooting a 2-year-old family dog. This all happening after officers responded to reports of a woman screaming. She says she was actually celebrating the New York Knicks winning the NBA championship. Here's ABC's Jaclyn Lee.
Tonight, newly released police body camera footage shows the moments leading up to an LAPD officer fatally shooting a dog named Jameson wearing a Knicks jersey. Police responding to a 911 call last Saturday, a woman requesting a wellness check for her neighbor.
She's been screaming, "Oh my God," for 20 minutes, like something really bad happened.
Police officers knocking at the door.
Police department.
A woman answering, her 2-year-old dog, a golden retriever, St. Bernard and poodle mix, also appearing.
Oh, can you put your dog in? Put your dog away, please.
The two officers instructing her to put her dog inside, commenting on its size.
I ain't getting bit by that. Dude, that's okay.
The woman returning, telling the officers the dog is not a danger.
Please, it's all good. It's all good. We don't.
But Jameson gets past her. The LAPD alleging the nearly 107-pound dog charged at the officer, who then fired 4 shots. The homeowner sobbing over the dog as officers look on. She says she was just yelling to celebrate the Knicks NBA Finals win.
With the department's use of force policy involving hostile dog encounters includes tactics officers can use before firing their weapon, like voice commands, chemical spray, and kicking. Tonight, the LAPD is promising a full and transparent investigation.
All right, Jaclyn Lee, we appreciate it. Now to a Tesla allegedly on autopilot crashing into a home near Houston. A 76-year-old woman was killed. Authorities say the car failed to make a right turn and was traveling at a high rate of speed. Here's ABC's Alex Brochet.
Tonight, questions swirling over this Tesla. The driver saying he was using autopilot moments before a deadly crash into a home. Authorities say this blue Model 3, caught on a doorbell camera, was traveling at a high rate of speed Friday night. It passed through an intersection, and moments later, that boom was the car slamming into the brick exterior of a home.
I guess it's too early to tell if Tesla was on autopilot.
So we're digging into that. That's a line of investigation for sure.
The Harris County Sheriff's Office says a 76-year-old woman was inside. She was later pronounced dead. The driver, 44-year-old Michael Butler, told police he was using the car's automated driving assistance system at the time of the deadly crash. Deputies say he was taken to the hospital and showed no signs of intoxication. He's cooperating with the investigation and has not been charged. It's the second incident involving Teslas in Texas in roughly 2 months. In mid-April, a Tesla driver said his car's autopilot suddenly accelerated through a railroad gate, narrowly missing a fast-approaching train. That driver said he had the full self-driving feature engaged at the time of the incident. Now we've reached out to Tesla and have not yet heard back.
All right, Alex Brochet, thank you very much. Now to the chilling videos and other evidence released from the trial of a Texas teen convicted and sentenced to 35 years for the fatal stabbing of a fellow athlete from a rival high school. The case making national headlines and renewing the debate about race and justice in America. Here's ABC's Olivia Rubin.
What's your name, man? Carmelo Anthony. All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay?
Tonight, for the first time, a new look at video evidence in a murder case involving 2 track stars. Carmelo Anthony handcuffed after stabbing rival Austin Metcalf before a track meet in Frisco, Texas.
That's the alleged suspect. Okay. I'm not alleged. Okay.
The April 2025 altercation unfolding after Anthony entered this yellow tent belonging to Metcalf's team. Metcalf asking him to leave and pushed him. It's difficult to see the confrontation, but you can see Anthony exiting the tent, running, then walking away. Bystanders pointing him out to police.
My friend just got stabbed. Need to send an ambulance right now.
In newly released 911 calls, you can hear the chaos and heartbreak. Metcalf's twin brother right there.
Come on, Austin. Come on, Austin. Come on, baby. Come on, you got it.
The new video also showing both Anthony and Metcalf entering that stadium before the incident. The case quickly drawing national headlines, fueled by a social media debate over the races of the 2 men and whether Anthony felt any remorse.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
The jury convicted Anthony earlier this month and sentenced him to 35 years in prison. But Anthony maintains he acted in self-defense and has now filed a notice that he intends to appeal that conviction.
Right, Olivia Rubin for us tonight. Thank you. A big change in New York City. Those popular horse-drawn carriage rides are now suspended through at least Tuesday. This follows a deadly accident in Central Park. Police say an 18-year-old tourist from India died after a horse was frightened and then took off, sending a carriage crashing. In response, the Central Park Conservancy issuing a sharp condemnation of the horse-drawn carriage industry. A safety review is now underway. Tonight, questions are growing about what caused a massive fire to rip through and destroy a Dominican Republic luxury resort. Video shows hundreds of tourists running for safety Friday as flames engulfed the property. A 46-year-old woman from Italy died and several other people injured. Wyndham, the resort operator, says it's saddened by the guest's death. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Saturday. A close call in the skies over Boston after an air traffic controller put two jets on a potential collision course. And a night at the amusement park takes a frightening turn after young riders are left stranded 25 feet off the ground. Next tonight, two new air travel scares raising questions about safety in the skies.
American 3161, where are you going? You cleared us for takeoff, 3161.
In Boston, air traffic controller accidentally put two jets on a potential collision course after clearing one plane to land and another to take off from intersecting runways. The incoming flight was forced to abort its landing. Both planes landed safely. And former NFL quarterback Robert Griffin III is sharing video on social media of a United flight after he says an engine caught fire just after takeoff from Houston. The plane turned around and also landed safely. An amusement park scare on Long Island. 15 children and one adult had to be rescued Friday night after a ride at Adventureland became stuck 25 feet above the ground. Crews spent about 3 hours safely getting everyone off the Wave Twister, the park's newest attraction. Investigators are now working to determine what caused the malfunction. When we come back, the powerful Pacific puts on a show of force as a monster wave crashes over a Hawaii condo complex. To the index now, a paraglider is safe after his chute got snagged on a nearly 200-foot-tall construction crane in China. Video circulating on social media shows a person swinging in the air from their parachute to the side of a bridge. The person was stranded for hours until firefighters, along with tower crane workers, were eventually able to perform a rescue. A massive wave sweeping over an oceanfront condo complex in Hawaii. Video here shows the shingles being torn from the roof as onlookers shout in disbelief. The dramatic scene unfolding as powerful south swells pound the coast of Hawaii's Big Island. It's the same condo community hit by huge surf during the aftermath of Hurricane Darby in 2022. A Paraguay player at the World Cup has earned the first red card under FIFA's new rule banning players from covering their mouths during on-field confrontations. The rule is intended to prevent racist or abusive comments from being hidden from officials and cameras. The player, Miguel Almiron, will now miss Paraguay's next match against Australia. It's still unclear what was said in the confrontation. Tonight, the Associated Press is reporting the founder of a global gaming company was killed in a plane crash in western France. 69-year-old Claude Guillemot of Ubisoft, the maker of the popular game Assassin's Creed. A flight instructor also died when their twin-engine Cessna slammed into a field near an airport. Both were licensed and experienced pilots. Investigators now working to determine the cause. Still ahead, paralyzed by a life-changing accident, see how one father refused to let his injury define him. Finally tonight, America Strong. A devastating injury changed his life forever, but one inspirational father is setting his sights on a new dream.
David Charbonnet enlisted in the Navy after 9/11, becoming a member of SEAL Team 1 as his father had before him. But just 2 days before his first deployment, his parachute canopy stalled as he plunged 80 feet to the ground, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. He's been wheelchair-bound for the last 15 years.
My wife was probably the biggest factor in making sure that I didn't just spend the rest of my life sitting on a couch. She's always pushed me to be adventurous, to dare, to be the man in the arena.
Married to his high school sweetheart, David is now a proud father of 3, giving him new purpose.
I want to be a good role model to my kids. I want to fail so they can see how to get back up. I want to suffer so they can see how to endure. I want to be daring so that they're daring. Teach my kids to be tough and be adventurous and go out and live their life to the fullest.
And he's using his athletic prowess to achieve new goals. The California native is surfing again.
Getting back in the water and do surfing like I used to, just in a different way.
And now kayaking too, hoping to qualify for the 2028 Paralympic Games. Despite challenges, David is full of gratitude on this Father's Day Eve.
Being a dad is life's greatest adventure. You got kids, pour into them. It'll be the hardest job you ever did, but it'll be the best job you ever did. I'm thankful for my kids more than anything I can ever say.
Well said. Thanks so much for watching tonight. Have a great night.
David Muir, the most trusted, most watched newscast in America. And now, World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the 4th year in a row.